Pierre, it's more than 3 months now since the new government was inaugurated. In that time, there have been regular protests opposing the judicial overhaul process. This one is a rally of support. Tell us more.
Absolutely, Benita, and Daniel Noor, our cameraman, will be showing you. They're starting to gather, they're distributing Likud party flags of Benjamin Netanyahu as well as the Israeli flag. But there is an atmosphere of doom and gloom among some of the protesters because they realize that it's going to be much harder to mobilize people in support than against the judicial reform, and that's something quite natural. When your representatives are in the government, when your representatives are in traction, it's much more difficult to mobilize the support of people than to mobilize the anger of people against the government. So they estimate that there will be probably something like 10,000 protesters. It's also due to the fact, they say, that it's in the heart of Tel Aviv, and Tel Aviv is a much more liberal city than Jerusalem. When the first demonstration in support of the judicial overhaul occurred on Monday, where tens of thousands of supporters of the government gathered. But at this moment here in Tel Aviv, they're just starting to gather now. Around us, there are also cafes, a library, there is the Tel Aviv Museum, and we've heard from the people here that they're closing shop, they're closing the museum because they fear that there will be acts of violence similar to the acts of violence that occurred on Monday during the previous demonstration in support of the government, where Arab taxi drivers and Arab citizens were assaulted by hardcore group of supporters, and even journalists were harassed and violently aggressed by some of the supporters. So you can see now that it's going to gather steam to some extent. There's going to be a march to the Ayalon Highway, nearby the Ayalon Highway, where the protest against the judicial overhaul was taking place up until Monday.